Welcome to Coffee in the Morning, a show which seeks to inspire, inform, and motivate the next generation of creatives in various fields and what it takes to make it. On today's episode, we are joined by Lady Kuda, a radio maestro with over a decade in experience on the airwaves and currently co-hosts The Fix with PD The Ghost, a versatile and hip-hop R&B show on ZFM. On this episode, Lady K talks to us about starting out in the broadcasting industry, what makes a good broadcaster, and how to keep your audience coming back to your platform. Enjoy.
How did I become attracted to the mic? Well, being a radio presenter was not something I had actually ever planned. I'm going to be very, very honest. I've been on radio since 2008. I started my radio journey in Windhoek, Namibia at UNAM Radio. It was campus radio because I went to varsity there at UNAM. I had actually initially approached the radio station. Well, I saw an advert. I saw an advert on the notice board because I was the first year, freshly just signed, registered, very excited about starting varsity. And I saw an advert looking for people who can provide content for radio shows. Now, as much as I never thought about being on radio, music was a very integral part of my life. Like, I've always loved music. I've always listened to radio. I know if you have to ask me the number one song trending, I'll know it. I just knew all of that. But it was never my goal or an idea in the back of my head to be like, I should host a radio show. Never occurred to me whatsoever. So when I saw that particular poster or the announcement on the board, I thought, no, this is going to be really dope. Because before Namibia, I was actually in South Africa. I was in school in South Africa and I was listening to a lot of radio. Like I said, when I came to Namibia, I was like, you know what, maybe we can do this, maybe we can do that. So, of course, I was very excited. I went to the radio station and I was like, look, I think you can do ABCD, bring this kind of element, do this, do that. So the entire time while I'm speaking to this person, this guy's like, okay, when I was done, have you ever been on radio before? And I was like, no, I've never been on radio. I'm here to give you content for radio. I don't want to, I don't want to be the person on radio. I want to just give you content. And he's like, I'd like for you to be on radio. I'm like, no, I refused. Oh my God. And he's like, no. I think the way that you're speaking to me right now, your caliber, your personality, let's just put it on air and let's just see how it goes. Okay. And literally, as the saying goes, the rest is history. So I'm going to be very honest. When I did start radio in Namibia, I was a student and I was on radio in Namibia for 6 years. The 6 years I was there, I never got paid. For me, the minute I got onto radio, with already my back experience in understanding not understanding, but I had a very huge interest in the industry, in music, in how radio works. For me, it was like, oh, okay, this is like a pastime thing I can do, no problem. So for me, the experience that I got was worth more than any paycheck. And today, when I look back, I realize that it really set a complete foundation for me. So obviously, once I moved away from Namibia, I came back to SA briefly, and then I moved to Zimbabwe permanently, and then I started being on radio at ZFM. And I'm going to also be very honest. Radio is a very good opportunity for you to expand your horizons. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and tell you you're going to get a big fat paycheck and you're going to be living in a big house and driving expensive cars. Not really. It's not like that. I'm going to be honest. I mean, you ask me a question, I'm going to answer it honestly. So what happens with radio is that radio is like a stepping stone for you to be able to get other opportunities. So once you're on radio, you're now in the public eye. Now a lot of people know you. You now need to use this newfound fame, if you like to call it, to now build and construct other things on the side to continuously, get money to come in. I would do a whole masterclass on that, but it's a great opportunity. I love it. I've been doing it for a very long time. I've done so many different types of shows. I mean, obviously, you guys know me very well from The Fix. So, yeah, that's how I got onto radio. What makes a good broadcaster is how you can relate to the listener. what is it about you that would make somebody want to tune in next week? So what is your relatability? Is it your stories? Is it your music? How you deliver? Maybe you've got punchlines. There has to be something about you that draws listeners towards you. So you have to find that one thing. Now, obviously, I'm going to talk about myself. I co-host The Fix. And the segment of my show is called Unfiltered. Unfiltered, I literally give you the good, the bad, and the oh so ugly in hip-hop. And that's what I do. I make sure every single week I have the latest songs. I have the latest hip hop artists as an interview. And another thing that I did was I decided to expand my horizon. So obviously Zim hip hop will always be our number one mandate. But at the same time, there's so many amazing hip hop artists everywhere else, regionally and internationally. So if I'm able to get a quick interview with Nasty C, or if I'm able to get something quick from AKA's mother, I'm going to get that. And what's going to draw people to my show is the fact that I've got these exclusive interviews from artists that you can't hear on any other radio station. There has to be something about you that draws people towards your show. That's basically it. And you have to be very, very consistent. Consistency is key. I don't know how many great people have started up, but then once they got that found fame, they became lazy. They didn't bother as much anymore. And it's kind of sad to see, but if you want to remain relevant within the industry, you have to remain consistent. You have to constantly think out of the box. You have to find ways to reinvent yourself, find new ways to interview people, find engaging ways to speak to your audience. As much as radio is just radio, you can find other ways to engage people. So you can now go online, you can have conversations online, you can ask people questions online and then use them as radio. You can use them as radio extracts. There's so many different ways that you can find to be constantly engaged. Nowadays, I think, we are now moving away from just being on air. We're now putting it online so you can have your entire show broadcasted, stream it live whilst you're on air. Innovative, fun, engaging ways to constantly bring people back. I am not a person, I don't believe in controversy sells. As much as a lot of people do think I'm very controversial, I'll just like to let you know that I just keep it real. I'm very honest, I know who I am. There's certain things that I believe in, and that's how you know that's Lady K, because if something is right, I'll speak very highly on it. But if something's also wrong, I'll also speak highly on it. People keep coming back to our show in this era of podcasting, our radio show, because we have a very good show. It's a very well-researched, well-created, well-structured show. And we've been doing this show for 9 years now, and we're still the number one hip-hop show in the country. Now, we've managed to do this because obviously we're very, very passionate about hip-hop. We eat, breathe, pray hip-hop. If you guys know me and you follow me online, 90% of my content is hip-hop. That's what I do. That's what I speak about. We research, we sit down, we have conversations. We are very much in tune with what's going on the ground. We also make sure that we create a specific kind of playlist. We play the songs that you don't hear anywhere else, which means that we are very in contact with a lot of the artists. We have a lot of good relationship with artists. Even if I hear somebody and I can't get a hold of them, I will find that song and I'll make sure that it's played on our show. As I mentioned earlier, we also do a lot of groundwork, a lot of footwork. So I make sure that I get all the latest people that I need to speak to in regards to who is trending on what Zimbabwean, on what hip hop platform. So for instance, if in this African industry, Magalera Dopo is the biggest thing, I'm going to make sure I'm going to get that interview. We pride ourselves every single week that when you tune into The Fix, you're going to hear great interviews, you're going to hear dope music, and it's just a well-rounded, created show that just shows two people who love hip-hop and are able to come together and bring you something that you'll consistently come back to, because we have sat down and we have said we're going to do this, and we've been doing this for years. So as I did mention, consistency is key. you have to always stay on top of your game. There's no time to sleep. And yeah, I know when the era of podcasting, a lot of people are buying mics and just setting up in their bedrooms and saying whatever they want to say. I mean, hey, it's all good, but at the end of the day, we're factual, well-researched, consistent, and we're a very, very dope duo. That is why listeners keep coming back to our show.
Thank you for tuning in to our part 1 conversation with Lady K. Keep it locked in for part 2. Like, comment and subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on all socials at The Hub on Line Mac for all things culture and entertainment.